Page 13, Camptown Races. Another piece in cut time. Now we're in Unit 2. You're getting a little more advanced now. I'm going to challenge you a little more here. In addition to the music challenging you. In the right hand, they say fourth finger on the A's. Now remember, this is in D major. There's two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So here. I'm going to start asking you to think about using different fingers on repeated notes. All right, more and more and more. Right at the beginning, I'm going to suggest you do a 5, 4, 3 for those first three A's. So it's a 5, 4, 3. Just reach down and use the second finger on the F sharp. Same thing for the next phrase, the last note of the first line going on to the second line. Now, third line, for those two D's, I recommend a 2-1. Start with a 2 and then a 1. And the next to the last measure of the third line, I recommend a 2-3. And then again, we're back to the 5, 4, 3 for the A's. In the last line in the first measure for the eighth notes, let's not worry about those right now. Do the best you can. But for the quarter notes, second measure, I would still recommend second finger on the F sharp. And then for the next measure, a thumb on the E. And then you can do a third finger on the F sharp. And for the two E's, you can do a 2, 3. Experiment with it and see what you think. It's just, we want to get more and more. It's a bit of a hassle now because it makes the piece more complex when you use different fingers on repeated notes. But as the music gets more difficult, it can be a lifesaver. If you can learn to do it now, you'll be so much further ahead later on when you really need to do it. So I would encourage you to do it now. Left hand just has the chords again. Okay, the primary chords, except they're broken up, of course. Now there's a repeat sign at the end of the second line, so we're going to play the first two lines twice. It comes in handy since there's two sets of words. If you're going to sing it, you can sing it if you want. I ain't singing it. And I would like you to understand everything you're seeing in the music. It's important. So if you see something you don't understand, please ask. Take a look at the third line down. Right at the beginning of the line, you see a quarter rest. That's all it is in that measure, is a quarter rest. So what's going on? Well, in cut time, there should be 2 beats in every measure. All right? Now, quarter noting gets a half a beat. Where's the other 1.5 counts? The idea is there's a pickup beat at the beginning, and that's a quarter note. It's a half a count. Now all they're doing is continuing with this pickup beat. So in the third line, that is another pickup measure, but it happens to have a rest. There's no note in it. It's still a pickup measure. Because if you look at the last measure of the second line, there's only 1.5 counts there. Yeah, it's got 3 quarter notes, or the equivalent of 3 quarter notes. Rest. And that's it. Well, that's because the pickup measure at the beginning. So in the pickup measure there in the third line, that goes to the last 2 lines of the piece, and at the very end, again, it only has 3 counts in that measure, so we're good, because you put them together to get the full counts. We're fine. We have a full 2 half note, the equivalent of 2 half notes in every measure, and that's what we want. The pickup measures just make it look a little more complicated is all. So let's try this out and see what happens. 1, 2, and ready and go.